y'all? Moon Tavern coming back at you. Figured I'd just jump on here real quick. I started thinking about some things that, allocation season is over from last year. It's, there's still a whole lot of good whiskey just sitting there that you may have overlooked. And I figured, I'd shed some light on at least one bottle. Maybe we'll do a couple of episodes of these. And a lot of these you will probably already know. But these are just some of my favorites. And I'm trying to keep it down around $30 or so. So, I mean, these are easy ones to drink, easy ones to pick up. And it should be pretty much in any store that you go to. So there's not a whole lot of running around trying to find it, right? So the one that I want to talk about today is going to be Old Granddad Bottled and Bond. Now, a lot of people like the Old Granddad 114, and I'm not saying that I'm not one of those guys. I absolutely do. But if I just want something that I can go sit by a campfire or, whatever, sit outside, chill out, hang out, don't want to, have anything with too much proof, then this is definitely one that I will grab. Now, if you really want to look at the Bottled and Bond, the Bottled and Bond Act was enacted to try to help whiskey to be more safe, right? So back in the day, they would do all kind of things where they would, put tobacco juice in it or put other types of elements in there to help with the color or help with the taste to try to hide some of that rot gut whiskey that they were selling at that time illegally, right? Or legally. So the Bottled and Bond Act really helped with trying to regulate a lot of that whiskey to make it so it's safer for the consumer, and then also too when you bought it, you trusted that these certain processes took place to make sure that you were getting a safe product, right? Old Granddad Bottled and Bond is one of those ones, absolutely a banger of a whiskey. It's not going to hurt your bank. Like I said, I think this one's around $23 in my area. Very, very good, and Bottled and Bond is one of those things that has to be aged for at least 4 years. It's going to be in a warehouse, a federally, under federal control, bonded warehouse. It's going to be distilled in one distillery for one distillation season. So these are all things that really helps with the quality of the product and the consistency of the product. So Old Granddad Bottled and Bond is one of those ones that I absolutely enjoy. We'll pour a little bit. We'll give you some tasting notes here. And this is one, like I said, I'm sure it's in every single store that you go to. It's probably not a top shelfer. You're probably not going to, see people lining up in line for it. But you know what? That's what makes it great. It's just one of those things that you just want to try something different. It's something on the shelf. And there's tons of Bottled and Bonds out there that meet this requirement. As far as it's just there and it's there for the taking. A lot of people, like I said, forget about them because they want to go for the higher allocated stuff, and I get that. I'm probably one of those guys too, but at the same time, I do enjoy these pours that you can just get all the time, right? So this is going to be a high rye mash bill. It's made by Jim Beam, just in case if you didn't know. A lot of the times when I'm talking about this stuff, I'm trying to talk to every single level of bourbon connoisseur, right? So whether you're beginning or middle or you are a pro or whatever like that, I'm trying to just give you the best information that I can give you. On this, Jim Beam does a really good job of every single product that you get is, quintessential bourbon flavors, whether it be, the brown sugar, the caramel, all that kind of good stuff. It's not overly complex. This one is not. But again, it's more of a younger whiskey, so you're not going to, get some of the depth of some of the things that have been in a barrel for, 17 years, 15 years, 10 years, or so on and so forth. Yeah, so again, caramel, brown sugar. I'm trying to coat my glass. I always think that that's something that's very, very essential when you're nosing or tasting whiskey or something like that. This is just my opinion. You increase that surface area of that liquid on that glass so you have more to be able to smell. Okay, I get a little bit of a fruit note on there. You get some of the baking spices, maybe a little bit of pepper. For this to be, at least 4 years. I don't know what the exact age of it, because it's not age stated. And most of the bottles, if it's over 4 years, a lot of the times they will not put an age on there, just because they're just trying not to reveal their secrets, I guess. But yeah, it's just good, man. All right, well, cool. Let's dive in and see what's up. Oh yeah, first coming up, so caramel, brown sugar, and everything that I just said transcends into the to the palate of it. Let me go one more time. There's something else that I'm trying to pull out of the palate. Like I said, when you start drinking the lower proof, now a lot of people will say that you start finding the some of the things that could be wrong with that whiskey, right? Because you're finding it at its most vulnerability as far as being at its lower proof. Where it's the higher proof, it can boom, it can kind of cover some stuff up with the proof. And some of the bold flavors that goes in there, where you add water to it, then you really start getting nitty gritty into what the whiskey is all about. But this one is very, very good. Like I said, it's something that I could hang around all day long, then just sip on it. Nothing trying to get drunk or anything like that, but it's just something that you wanted to enjoy. Of course, everything that I do, I don't typically put ice in it unless it's like some type of cocktail, which I don't really do a whole lot of cocktails. But hey, man, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying what I do. I usually drink all my stuff neat, so it's kind of one of those things that I want everything regulated in the temperature, so then that way I can get all the notes that I can. And sometimes it's hard, even when you have a seasoned drinker and they're trying to tell you to describe what the notes are in the different whiskeys. It's really, really hard sometimes. Now, what's kind of interesting is that with this one, if you've ever had a Booker's Country Ham, Booker's Country Ham has this kind of, it's almost like a freshness to it. This is really going to be hard to explain. I don't know. It almost has like an effervescent to it, to kind of like a carbonation, if you will, to it, and I'm getting that on this as well. I don't know if I've never really tried to deep dive into the Old Granddad as far as really trying to get tasting notes out of it. I just usually drink it and enjoy it, man, because that's just what it's there for, right? 20-something dollar bottle of whiskey. I'm not really trying to pick it apart to see exactly what I like. So this is kind of interesting doing this in front of you. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because, again, I've never done it with this. I get a little bit of grape as well, but not like grape like Kool-Aid grape, like fruit grape, right? Like a green grape. My mind kind of went blank after that. Man, it's amazing when you do this. So let me explain. So some of these whiskeys, man, when you're doing these flights, or if you're doing blind stuff, or if you're just not concentrating on one, but I don't really try to, get into it. I just enjoy the flavor. I like bourbon. I love bourbon, but I've never really tried to nitpick it apart on each pour that I ever do. So this is very interesting to do this with this one and only concentrate on this one. To see really what you get. I might do this more often because this is very interesting. It definitely makes you appreciate it a lot more, and when it comes to whiskey and stuff like that, man, if you really, really thought about how much effort gets put into one of these bottles, it's really hard. And I know I make jokes about different things and about different brands or whatever like that, and they're legitimately jokes, but the effort and care that it takes to make a bottle of whiskey, I mean, kudos to the distilleries, man. I mean, y'all are really, and I know a lot of stuff is automated, but some stuff, man, it's just Mother Nature. It's got to take its time to do its thing in the barrel. It's really, really cool when you really think about the process and some of the science that goes into this stuff to help with consistency and everything else like that. It's just, I mean, God, it's just a lot of effort, a lot of people that make these bottles of whiskey happen, you know? It's crazy. This is kind of blowing my mind, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm not mad at it, man. It almost got a little apple there too, and I think that's the rye. So it's and this is gonna sound kind of crazy. So it's kind of a caramel bourbon. I mean, a caramel, brown sugar. Then you get the apple. It's almost like it's got a little bit of streusel on top with a carbonated a carbonated whipped cream kind of thing. I don't know. It's definitely a weird blend of flavors that I'm saying there, but it's kind of what I'm getting. And then in the back end, you got that baking spice, maybe a little bit of cinnamon on it too. I don't ever recall ever getting a lot of apple out of this, but it definitely rye stuff. I typically get apple and a baking spice. But when I say apple, it's like a Granny Smith apple. So it's not necessarily a sour, but it's got a little bit of it, but it complements all of it. Man, that is just a really solid pour. For 20 something bucks, you can't beat that. I highly recommend going ahead and getting one of these and try it. And you know, I've learned something today. I think I'm going to spend a little bit more time with these bottles that I get and really dive into this, because it definitely makes you appreciate the juice inside of it a lot more, and to be able to extract those different notes. Like I said, when you do this, it's really cool, because then you really understand what you like, right? Gives you talking points and so on and so forth when you're with your friends, and see what they get. That's, again, and I know I've talked about this before, but seeing what they get on their palate, I think it's really, really cool. Because taste is so subjective, man. I like what I like. You like what you like. Neither one of us are wrong. It's just, it is what it is, right? Well, cool. Well, hey, that's all I wanted to do today. Just a real quick review, or not even really a review. Just talking about, you know, a $20 something bottle of whiskey. Again, the next one I'll do will be another one, but it will be around the $30 range. And again, you know, some of these you may or may not have poured before or had. I would definitely give them a shot, man. And it's the Old Granddad Bonded. It's not the regular Old Granddad, but I'm gonna tell you something. I'm enjoying this so much, I'm gonna pour a little bit more before I sign off here. And then I think it's time to watch some foosball. But anyway, who are y'all wanting to win, man? NFL? I'm not really a big NFL guy. I say Detroit Lions. I mean, I've been a Detroit fan since Billy Sims, so I don't want to hear any of this crap on the line about, oh, you're just saying that because they're in here. Look, man, I love Detroit back when they sucked, you know. And just getting Barry Sanders, been a big Barry Sanders fan all my life. Don't believe me, you can ask my wife, she'll tell you. Anyway, cool, man. Well, hey, hope y'all have a great day, all that kind of good stuff, and cheers.